Wait.
You're back.
Hey, guess what?
What?
You're going to love this. It's going to go right along with it.
This is perfect. So you fell out.
Uh-huh.
You may have lost the audio, but I never started recording the video anyways.
Oh, hey, so I don't feel bad at all now, but
No.
actually I think I may not have lost the audio. I don't know what happened, but it was basically just the screen was frozen, and I'm like,
Oh, your camera was
do
frozen.
I just kill it? Do I just hard reboot? What do I do? And now it's back, and Audacity is still recording, and but I don't know what the front part of that is going to sound like.
Yeah. Nice recovery, though.
Well, we have no video. We might as well just start.
I mean, let's do it. Let's just get it done.
Coming up on this episode, Sunday. Linux Nitrux Extravaganza. Join us as the monster. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to talk about Nitrux. And we're also going to show you how to get your floss on. And we get all sheepish with our packages. Linux user space starts soon. Hey there, and welcome to the Linux user space. I'm Joe.
I'm Leo.
And I'm Dan.
Dan,
Yes? Shh.
your hair looks
I'm hunting wabbits.
different.
Yeah.
It's the biggest
hat.
hair I've seen on you ever, Dan.
I know.
Puffy. It's
Yeah.
my puffy
Look at
hair.
that thing.
You like that? That's pretty cool, huh?
So, Elmer,
Yeah.
you been hunting wabbits? Is it wabbit season or duck season?
Duck
well-
season.
You know, it's
Wabbit season.
Duck season.
Wabbit season.
the 17th of March. You do the math. You figure out which...
That's a date. That's not math.
Okay.
I try not to mess with the change age command very much. I don't know how to do that. You know, from
Yeah.
January 1st, 1970, what is March 17th, 2021? I don't know what that is. I need a calculator for that.
Doesn't matter. All we know is Dan was in a leprechaun-themed golf tournament earlier today. And
Must have been.
Yeah. It's a festive mood.
Yeah.
What can I say?
He may or may not have won.
He's very green.
Very
No.
good, Dan.
Wait.
Dan.
So you must have made it to the green.
Oh,
There you go.
green in one. Speaking of games, we were talking about some games. Dan, you have a new game?
I do. I've been playing Valheim.
Dan, I thought the only thing you did with that 5700 XT of yours was render video. You're telling me you play games on this video card?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Play
What
games.
a waste. You're not
Oh,
mining
okay.
coins?
Yeah, well, honestly, yeah.
Well, I probably should be, especially now. Holy cow.
Yeah.
But no, been wasting my time playing the video games, playing Valheim, and it's a fun game. Like we were talking earlier, it's a lot like Ark or Rust or, one of those games where it's survival and you've got to, explore the world, build some stuff,
Hit trees with your fists?
hit trees with your fist, or, hit wild boars or crazy looking troll.
But with your
Wow.
fist.
Yeah, at least to start with.
Okay, all right. So I enjoy games that start you out in a scenario where you got nothing.
You got nothing.
You just start with like a little loincloth, and you're meant to
That's it.
just build everything.
I prefer a few more clothes.
You only get the loincloth, Joe. And you enjoy it. You're just gonna have to enjoy that.
Build up the wild boars so you can, get some scraps of leather
Toga.
going on there.
Right.
Oh, the wild boar. Do you have to beat them with your fists?
Yeah. Well, at least to start with. Yeah.
So how many hits does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop?
Like
The piggy pop.
4-ish or so. Yeah.
You can kill a boar with 4 hits?
Yeah, thereabouts. I mean, they get pretty angry.
have
but
you
just-
seen a boar?
I know, and they're wild, but you're a pretty wild beast yourself, so.
They can take 4 shots from a rifle. They're pretty tough.
These guys
I know.
must like bench press castles.
They
I
look like
guess.
they could. Yeah, they're
Okay.
Vikings, so
Yes.
they're
That
tough.
makes sense.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I couldn't have tell. I thought they were Spanish conquistadors from the title, so I didn't realize.
I don't know how you got that from the title, but
I'm not sure either.
They're not Incan warriors? Is that it's this not wrong
I
game?
think you're getting Valheim mixed up with Age of Empires.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's what it was. Same
God, I
graphics.
love that game.
Same graphics.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hope not. I don't think so.
No, it seems
It looked a
pretty
little.
good.
It looked slightly
seems good.
better. Yeah, it looked a little better.
I play a little World of Warcraft, and it did kind of remind me of WoW Classic. In
Okay.
that, I mean, you can see a lot of the jagged edges of a lot of things, but I mean, in general, that I think is just—it's not always the point of a game to have like the most amazing graphics. I mean, look at Cyberpunk.
Oh, yeah.
What graphics?
At least it doesn't crashy like that, too. So, yeah.
Right. So I mean, if you're not coming into this expecting the most amazing graphics, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised because I mean it's your open world, you punch a pig in the face kind of game, and
Beat him to death with a mallet. Yep.
right. But
Yep,
that,
sure.
that you craft yourself, that's the whole thing,
Well,
right?
If
Just
as long as he
crafting.
dies knowing it was with a handcrafted mallet,
Exactly.
I think it's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you get that sense of accomplishment.
I
You know,
agree.
I made this.
Yes. hang your bloody mallet on the front door or on the refrigerator. Yeah.
Well, it's like when you open up a business, you got to frame your first dollar, right?
Yep.
So you got to frame this hammer and be like, this is the first hammer, first pig.
Little chunks of skin and hair and yep, sure. It's good.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea. Yeah. I'll see
So
what I can do.
I've been looking for a game to con my my wife and friends into playing, and this sounds like another one of those. But better than all of that, it's a Linux game, right? Not a Proton game, but a Linux game.
Yeah, no, I've been playing it on my Linux, and it is a Linux game, and it's good. It's smooth. It feels native because it is.
It's early
Nice.
access, right?
Early
It's
access
a
right now, yeah.
Newer game, right?
Yep.
So that's cool. It's a lot of times it's good to get in there and get it for $20 instead of $40.
Yep.
You never know.
Oh, I wonder if they're going to do that, if they're going to up the price once it releases.
Yeah, maybe.
A lot of times they
I
do.
don't know.
Sometimes. And then also you mentioned they might have some modding capabilities as well, right?
Yeah, it
So-
does. Like I heard from English Bob on one of his streams that he downloaded some mods and got some better textures. So I got to look into that a little bit too, because it's good graphics, but better graphics is better.
Always.
Can say that again.
Yeah, well, better graphics is
If you
better.
take away nothing away from the show, kids, better graphics are better.
But I don't know. Maybe with the lower graphics, you can render more pigs on the screen, though.
That's
so,
true.
I mean,
That's true. You just couldn't tell them apart. You couldn't tell which little piggy went to the market. It just looked like a herd.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah, they all look the
Right.
same. But with this texture pack, now you can tell the difference between Billy and Bobby.
Right.
Yeah.
They both have buck teeth.
Yeah.
It's a familial trait. Okay. I don't know.
Yes. Well,
It's in the genes.
so Valheim. Valheim's the game.
Yep.
All right, we'll have to check it out. Everybody
I'll
check
check it
out
out.
Valheim.
Yeah. You guys would like it.
Sounds fun.
Well, now we're gonna have to do like some kind of live stream Valheim thing.
That'd be cool.
Hey, is it bring your own server type thing, or do you play on Steam servers, or how's the multiplayer work?
Well, I don't know because I haven't played the multiplayer.
Dad, do you have-
a solo kind of guy?
Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to figure it out before I went venturing off into the multiplayer.
Oh, he was a little insecure. He's like, I don't know if I want to get killed by everybody I know before I check it out.
Yeah, that seemed pretty smart.
That's definitely one of
It's
the
not a bad
features. We'll call it a feature of
Yeah,
those
definitely.
games. Is that people can just roll up on you and like destroy your castle and steal all your pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like Ark where you spawn, a dinosaur eats you, you die, and then you wake up, you go to find your stuff, and your friend kills you. So it's just, that's...
But you're not supposed to steal my workbench too.
Yeah, I know.
I will say, like, if you die in the single player, you can go back and pick up your stuff, and you can kind of pick up where you left off. It doesn't penalize you a whole lot, at least not at first in the game. It's good. I mean, if you're going to make mistakes and die, do it early in the game rather than later, because then it'll penalize you a little further, but you can still pick up where you left off, so that's kind of nice.
Now that reminds me of Diablo 2 and Path of Exile, because as you get later on in the levels, in D2 and Path, when you die, you lose a huge chunk of experience.
Yeah.
And so you have to like regrind to get all that back, and then you're back to starting point, and then you die again or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out.
This isn't that bad. This helps you along. You can pick up your stuff and pick up where you left off pretty much.
Yeah. No,
if I've gained experience, it's mine. Like, you can't take it. I still have that experience if I die. I still went through it. You can't take away my experience.
Is there a hardcore mode in this? Because like in D2 and Path of Exile, you could turn on hardcore, so when you died, you're dead.
There's a whole bunch of cheat codes that are published.
So the hogs are like 75 hits with the fist instead of 4.
Could be.
Razor sharp tusks.
They'll get you. You better make that hammer real fast.
Wooden mallet killing pigs. Sounds like a good Saturday night. Give me another bear. All right, we are wrapping up our month-long journey into Nitrux OS, and boy, has it been a journey. So, as we typically do, we'll talk a little bit about the background of Nitrux OS and kind of where it came from, and then we'll get into kind of the details and talk about our experiences and all that. So, just to get started with, Nitrux OS, founded by graphic designer Uri Herrera, and he definitely, you'll see the theme about graphic design. Uri says multiple times in blogs and in interviews, he's like, I'm not a programmer. I'm not a coder. I'm a graphics designer. And you can see it from the moment you fire this thing up. Any of you that have played with various themes in KDE, you've seen some of his work as well. But definitely someone with an eye for detail and has an idea of what they want to look at when they're working on their desktop. So we'll get a little bit more into that. But pretty much Uri starts by getting into some theming. He's doing his graphic design work. He's working in Linux, and he's like, you know what? This could look better, and I think I can make it that way. So works on some themes. He starts working on a Nitrux themes for KDE, and then also eventually does some more work for the Plasma desktop. But in 2014, he kind of gets involved in doing a little bit of web apps with a buddy, and they decide to put together their own distribution. Depending on where you find different articles, some say he started in 2012, some say 2014. It doesn't really matter. Around that time period is when he kind of started formulating the thoughts of what's this going to be based on and how should the execution be, and started really the vision. And anybody who, as we've kind of gone through, every distro not every distro, many of the distros we fire up, you can tell they have a vision. Some you fire up and you're like, dumpster fire. Yeah. But a lot of them have a focused vision on definitely on the look and the feel and the experience. And that is definitely the case with Nitrux OS. He also gets involved briefly in a little bit of hardware business. It looked like they were, from what I could gather, maybe starting to do some mini PCs or something like that with maybe a Linux base. Get those out there. But also I was listening to, rather comically, he was talking about in one of the interviews how kind of got into that business and realized it's a tough business. And it's crowded already, and not everybody plays nice in the sandbox. So pulled back out of the hardware business, kind of refocused, back to the graphic design, has this long-term vision of what this distribution should look like, this Nitrux theme, starts working on that, eventually joins the KDE VDG team, working on Breeze. We all know Breeze.
Yeah, everybody knows Breeze.
Yeah, so he did work definitely on the icons and possibly on some of the theming there for the rest of the Breeze desktop. And Breeze is like the standard.
It's nice
for KDE, right? Like, I mean, I love it.
Yep.
Breeze is amazing.
The moment you boot it up, that's what you're slapped in the face with. And
that's it.
Yeah,
you better
those
like
icons. You're right. I mean, those icons are straight from him, and I gotta say, those icons are pretty decent.
Yeah, I think
they're pretty iconic. Sorry.
Whoa.
I'll stop there.
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
I won't. Yeah. But eventually, it looks like after about a year, he, and I'm going to cite for creative differences, if you want some good reads, man, go find Uri's blog posts. They're great. But
oh man, I really enjoyed.
It was a good read.
Yeah.
He's got some good stuff on there. Definitely has his thoughts and loves to share them. So I definitely recommend the read. But we'll say for creative differences, ends up leaving the KDE kind of that team. Still continues to contribute the Nitrux theme and definitely other type theming things for the Plasma desktop. But we also see Uri start kind of back around to this distribution, this idea of what a desktop should be, what it should look like, what it should feel like. And you can do a lot with theming, but at some point there's underpinnings and there's other applications and there's things that just maybe don't always work well together, which we've all experienced. You know, you fire up a GTK app in Plasma, or you fire up a Qt app in GNOME or Windows, right? And it just some things feel out of place. No matter how much you tweak the theming, the different toolkits don't jive,
right?
And they're visually. And if you're a graphics designer, I think that would probably drive you insane looking at these different things around. So I kind of get it. I looked again back to kind of see when Nitrux really started, as far as like, usually we go through this history and we're like, oh, the alpha, the beta hit, and then they dropped this. And I don't have all that information. But what I do have is around mid to late 2018, version 1.0.15 drops. And I say what I do have there because I think that's kind of when the world started taking notice. DistroWatch picks up stuff. Another good blog post in there about DistroWatch.
There's multiple. There's a few.
Multiple. Yeah, it's good. It's really good stuff. I'm telling you, if there's a book, I'd read it. I'd read the Uri book.
I mean, I'm telling you, like as those blog posts really start to heat up, I can't stop laughing. I mean,
yeah,
the situation is bad, but
I feel bad. But you're right. It's written.
He's got really good takes on this stuff, and as he's like dissecting the conversation, it keeps me laughing. So I mean, if nothing else, it was enjoyable to read.
Yeah, and you can't help but feel for the guy too. I mean,
absolutely,
he's reading the story. Yes,
he's working through things. But yes, so 1.0.15 drops mid-late 2018 again. Sites pick it up. There's various interviews he starts doing, so that definitely shows there's an interest there. Everything I read really came like people liked it. It's definitely, and again, the first thing that hits you when you boot this up is you're like, this looks nice, and it's not booting into Plasma. Like it's not your typical, like it is its own thing. It definitely feels like its own thing. It doesn't feel like a themed Plasma, at least it didn't to me. It had its own feel to it. You could tell KDE's there. Yeah, it's definitely it's there.
You could find it, but it wasn't.
I feel like QT has a feel. Like there's a
QT has a feel.
No matter how much you theme it, no matter how much you try to deviate from it, QT will always feel like QT. And I mean, it certainly has that, but there's enough customization in this that I mean.
It's really
it doesn't
different.
Feel like a Plasma. It doesn't feel like stock Plasma for sure.
Yeah, and smooth. Again, we'll talk about our experiences, but yes, definitely you feel it when you boot in. You're like, this is something new. This is cool. Let me check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So we start getting into a little closer to our time here, and we see a little bit of controversy as well. We all. Gosh, I feel like we're still living through this. I feel like people have been fighting snaps for I don't know, since they started. When did they start? So Nitrux is based on Ubuntu. I say based, it's loosely, it's there. It is there. There's some guts there, but it's not like...
It's different there.
You're not getting Ubuntu. Yeah. Whatever
you're not getting Ubuntu.
No. It ain't Ubuntu. Yeah.
This is not Ubuntu. When you get it, it's not Ubuntu.
Right.
But they're using some of the work Ubuntu's already done and leveraging that, I guess might be a better way to say it. But they were planning on going with snaps out of the gate, and they were going to work towards that. However, hit a brick wall or roadblock. As we all know, the Snap Store is not something that's moves around with each distro. Each distribution that's using snaps does not host their own store, does not have their own way. Snaps were designed, and it's Canonical's baby. And hey, I won't argue with you your choice how you do it, but they're hosting, or they're the store. And the back end is on their private servers, right? It's not a public facing. It's not open to the world.
Well, yeah. In addition to that, though, the Snap daemon itself kind of relies on System D.
Oh yeah. That was another issue.
And if you don't have System D, you're
Right.
not going to run snaps on it. And
yeah,
well, Nitrux does not have System D.
Right. So the fact that they couldn't roll their own store and System D is an issue as well. So they pull away from snaps and they decide to go with Appimage, which is its own neat little thing. If you've played around with app images, you know, I think all of us have at least played with them. Maybe. Yep. I know we have, the three of us.
Well, the one I hear thrown around all the time, and I don't get it, is Etcher. There's so
Etcher's
many...
the app image. It's the only one I use.
There are so many better apps to write an image to a disk, but I mean, Etcher is the
so
one.
fast and good.
It's DD. It's the same thing that every other app uses. You don't need Etcher for it. But I mean, I get it. Etcher's easy
but it's
to
an
go
app
get.
image. It's portable. You just bring it in, you launch it. I don't have to go to command line.
It does have
True.
some easiness that goes
It's
along
easy.
with it.
Every
I give you that.
GNOME-based distro that you run has GNOME disks, or at least you're able to get it. You don't have to go out and get an app image. I get it, though. I mean, it's fine. I personally don't use Etcher for anything. Honestly, I use Ventoy now for most everything, but, you know, GNOME disks, it's fine. But either way, I think I really enjoy the fact that that app images are kind of the way that they went, because nobody that I know of, no other distribution has gone all in on app image. Not a single one that I can think of. There may be one, you know, Hannah Montana Linux may have totally done this, but
I don't think so.
The world may never know.
That's one of the coolest things about this distro. There are some people out there that are just diehard app image. They, you know, I don't want Flatpak. I don't want Snap. I don't want to connect to any of that. I don't want to do any of that. You know, I want to be in full control. And I think that's one of the things that app image gives you. I want to be in full control of versioning of my app. I want to be in full control of the updating. And, you know, if I get an update and it doesn't work, you know, I didn't throw the other app image away, so I can just pull that one back and use it. So there's like a visceral thing about app images that, you know, I got it myself. I put it in the folder myself. I clicked it myself, or I added the execute bit myself, whatever.
Right.
There's a feeling to app image, I think, that you don't get with the other package management solutions in general. And yeah, I enjoy it. Just not Etcher. Anyone but Etcher.
Man, you and your Etcher hate.
I can't.
I don't hate you, Etcher.
I can't even with Etcher.
There are a lot of viable alternatives there, so I'll give you that.
What? Who hurt you, Leo? What did Etcher do to you?
Etcher hurt me.
Etcher
What
hurt it.
did Etcher? What did Etcher do?
I thought
to
it
you?
was going to be something amazing. I don't know. I don't know
No,
why I
it's
thought
just-
this. I totally get it. It's totally
It's a
my fault.
USB writer. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want?
It's like Startup Disk Creator or Mint Stick or
But I had to go get it.
Fedora's got one. OpenSUSE.
It looks nice. It does look nice,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it doesn't look like a 10-year-old.
No, it looks okay.
Like GTK app or QT app. Like it's at least a modern looking app image.
Honestly,
Like,
I think that's probably why it got so much traction.
you know what? You installed it on Mint. And of course, it made all Mint look bad, made their website look bad,
please.
it made everything look bad.
Okay.
And then you're just
I'll give you it on the website. It did make the website look bad. But, right, like, I mean, that doesn't really bother me too terribly much, but I do think that's why it got traction. But I'm just saying,
Sure, it's
there
pretty.
are a ton of
it's easy.
built-in applications
Yeah.
already to your
Yeah, there
distro
are.
that already do
Right.
this, so you don't have to go and get Etcher
Yeah.
to do it. But, I mean, I totally get it. It looks nice.
If you like it, you'll like it. I mean, that's whatever.
That's true.
I think too, because a lot of people, it is available everywhere as well. So I think
true.
if you were on Windows, you can go get Etcher, you can do
Well,
your
that's
thing.
You know what? Okay. Point taken.
It's easy, and it's the same. Yeah. So the app image is just a mirror image of the exe from Windows, as I easily found out. as we were talking about last week. But I'm like, wait, it's not an app image on Linux.
You're meant to use Rufus on Windows
Oh.
because Rufus is fantastic.
No,
it's-
Rufus is not
What?
fantastic.
I moved on from Rufus.
Oh no!
I would use
Too many
Etcher on
steps.
Windows. Yeah.
The only time I use Rufus is if I need a Mac OS X. For whatever reason, Rufus works great.
Oh,
burning
and Windows too.
Yeah.
I've always run into issues when I'm trying to put a Windows ISO on a USB stick. So I mean, Windows.
I
too.
just use their own.
Use
thing.
the
Well, true.
Windows.
They
Yeah,
have
very,
their
very
own.
true.
That never fails. That one works.
Very
They-
true.
they
But
just
that doesn't
made
work with Linux ISOs, and well,
It
Rufus
doesn't.
does. So
Yeah, Rufus does. Whatever.
I just stay out of Windows
Etcher's,
and we're all
Etcher's better
set.
than Rufus.
well, honestly, Dan's right. Just
Just stay out of Windows. You're
just
good.
avoid it.
Whatever. Back to Nitrux and some of their goals. So, as I was listening to another interview from Uri, and he says he talked about having some of the goals about having an OS that was truly convergent, something for IoT, mobile, security systems, everything, etc. Something that could be installed and deployed, as he liked to put it, wherever it needed to be. So,
Right.
and you can see that was a lot of their goal, and part of that is coming up with their own applications. So, we see the birth of Mauikit, which is basically a UI framework to create applications, but it's built with Kirigami, which is the KDE basically kit, right? That they use. So it's the way he said, it's not a fork of Kirigami, but it's kind of like an add-on or an expansion pack of sorts. So it's kind of like adding those things to your new video game.
I was gonna say, now you're talking to the gamers.
Yeah.
That's DLC, but it's a free
It's
DLC.
Free,
Yeah.
free DLC. So with Mauikit, again, they were able to kind of shape that vision that they have for these apps, the universal apps, right? So these are apps that are going to go on mobile. They're going to go on the desktop here. And I guess if your toaster had a screen, sure, you can pull up Station, the terminal app, and go to town.
Nice.
Okay, all right. You've done sold me on the whole thing. If
I think you
could
did.
bring up Station on a toaster, I think there would be no other distro for me to use but Nitrux forever. Like,
I think you did. Just sell it, Joe.
I feel like we're there.
oh man, this is the future, y'all.
Samsung and LG are putting screens in the fridge. Like, of course, the toaster's next.
Sudo apt install milk.
That's
you know,
it.
I need
That's
another
it.
gallon.
Do toast. Wait 5.
Hey, there
you
it
go.
is. There
Yep.
it is. 5 is
Snap.
the perfect of toast.
Snap,
Yes,
refresh, cerveza.
Yeah.
Hey, now there you go. Okay, I can
There
get on
you
board
go.
with that.
Refresh me. So you can see when you get into Nitrux, you see their apps. They're there because really there's not a. I will say I don't know what the percentage was, but when you get in there, you are these Mauikit apps and then a few KDE apps that they probably just haven't converted to make their own yet, and that's it. That's your start. And Firefox, of course, Firefox.
But yeah, everybody's got Firefox. Yeah. You got to have some browser.
Right. But yeah, so just some of them, Station, which is terminal app.
Nice.
I'm going to say it wrong because we said it wrong for too long. Making
It's going to
fun
be
of it.
hilarious either way.
I'm going to say Booho.
Oh,
Booho.
good job. Good job.
Booho.
I'm going to
We're
go
gonna
with
go Booho?
Well, what was the alternative?
I mean, the alternative is not Booho.
I mean, but what was it? I mean,
It could be Bauh, which if I started playing with my cadence, could be Bauh.
look, I mean,
You know,
I'm just going to assume Booho.
Booho sounds good. But it's like
Yeah.
a note app. Clip, video player, Nota, text editor, Shelf, doc viewer, Wave, Index. Anyways, all the default apps that you would want on a distro, just
So-
that you can.
That's
some
kind of a
defaults
lot,
to get
though.
in, get
Yeah.
you going. And I think there was a few more. I might even have missed a few.
Yeah.
the ones that you run into, just right off the bat is Index.
Mm.
I mean, if you start to go poke around your home folder and see what's going on,
Yeah.
you are greeted with a file manager that you've probably never seen before. I don't know any other distro that has
Nope.
Index by default.
Nope. And I was digging.
Yeah, and I think its main claim to fame is that it's simple. I mean, obviously it's based on Mauikit. Obviously it's an app image.
Yep.
I mean, it's Nitrux after all, but it is simple. And if you're looking for simple, man, this is the file manager for you. It looks good because, I mean, well, we've established that Uri is a graphics guy, so he's obviously got an eye for that detail, and it's simple. So
have you seen GNOME files lately? Because that's pretty simple too.
Right. I think, with GNOME files, I think you can like get in there and start adding in a bunch of features. But that's one thing that I've noticed about Index that you couldn't do is that they're, I don't think it's meant to be. I don't think it's meant to be this overarching like file commander thing. It's just, here are your files. Imagine getting at your files in Android. Like you click on the downloads thing, or in iOS, you click on the files thing. And it doesn't show you the whole entire operating system. It doesn't give you a ton of options.
There's no file drop down. There's no edit. There's no view. There's none of that.
Exactly. But, one of the cool things that I liked about Index is that one of the things that I hear everybody complain about in their file manager of choice, or at least for a little while, is that, it didn't do split pane. Oh, well, this does split pane.
It's
and it's just a big old button right in the top. You just click it and splits.
Yep.
It's very nice.
It's got the features you want, but not all the cruft if you are, I think that the way you're talking about the file manager, like it really goes back to kind of their, I don't want to even call it their mission statement, but I did hear him talking about where it's just like, if you just want to pick up and go.
Yeah.
Like, he talks about, I'm a graphic designer. I'm not an app maker. I'm not a coder. I'm not a Linux, goob. Like, I just want an operating system for people to pick up and go, a la Mac OS, a la Elementary OS.
Yeah,
right.
Like they're simple enough. You get your stuff, you go. A lot of people don't care about the file manager,
right?
Like they really don't.
And if
it shows them their files,
right,
and that's it.
Yeah,
and they just want it.
But I'll
just
also
find
say,
my file.
like, devices. Like I plugged my USB in, and I want it. You click on it, and it says, "Do you want to mount this?" It's not mounted. You say, pops you up a little dialogue. You hit, go ahead, do that, please. It doesn't automatically mount them and splat them all over the place. Gives you a little notification. But it wasn't annoying. It gave you a little notification. You click yes, boom, there they are. It's like, wow, that's nice.
And Station kind of gave me that same vibe that Index was giving me as well, where you don't get the million options, but then again, you're just plugging commands into a terminal anyway. What do you need? One thing that kind of got me though is that I couldn't figure out how to change the font size, and it's probably just me. I am probably blind. There is a setting somewhere that I'm missing, but I could not figure it out. So I ended up installing Console when I needed. When I was going to stare at it for a while, if I just needed to throw a couple commands in there, Station all the way. But if I was going to stare at it or read stuff, because I actually ended up setting up a Git T instance and working on a shell script to do some backups for your home folder. And Station actually is where I did most of that work in Nano. Once
you didn't use Noda?
I didn't. And you know why? Because I had to keep, I did split pane. And on one side, I'm running that script, and the other side, I'm editing that script. So it actually worked fantastically in that terminal. But yeah, my only one dig on that is probably because I'm blind. I couldn't up the font size. I'm sure there's a zoom in there somewhere.
Right. Maybe a key combination or something.
I couldn't find it. So yeah, I suffered for a little bit. But I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. And it came with, use Zish by default.
Yeah.
And it had that little, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, the Powerline shell thing.
What is it called?
Powerline shell? Like
Powerline? Is that what that's called?
Powerline.
The arrow?
Yeah.
Talk about the big arrow?
I love that.
Oh,
that's like
nice.
my favorite thing of all time.
You knew where you were at. You knew where you were at in that terminal.
Oh, man. It was
it was like, follow the bouncing ball. Like you were just like, there's
But like if you're doing if you enter a Git enabled, it tells you that. And it tells you, okay, you're on the master branch or whatever. You don't have to go type Git branch all the time to figure out, am I in development or am I in master? What am I?
Right, and that reminded me a lot of Fish, because Fish does that too.
It does.
And I think there's a lot of every time I bring up Fish in a conversation, there's always someone that's like, oh, but Zish can do that too. So
there's
a lot
similar.
of crossover there, and I enjoyed it. I really just enjoyed
Fish
my
is
time.
the colorful Zish.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I mean, there's probably more feature parity, but I love Fish because it's color coded for what I'm doing. Like I can always tell what I'm doing because of the colors. I think that's why I like it the most.
Exactly.
I think Zish is a little more POSIX compliant. So if you're doing shell scripting and stuff, you might want to go Zish. but if you're really doing a shell script, you're probably going to source, Bash or something else anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So the apps, Mauikit. So yeah, they're good. They look nice. They do their, specified purpose. But the nice thing about them, again, going back to kind of design and theme, is they feel native. They feel like they belong. That little hamburger menu on the left side at the top is on every single one of those apps. I launched every single one, and I was in there, and I'm like, yep, all my information. So it's nice and consistent. You have your, I like the icons and stuff like that. My only gripe, again, on the whole part of this was my issues with the title bars. I don't know. I had some size issues with the title bars. And
what was it? Just too small?
I think it was just too small. And then it was too small out of the box. So I think for the theming, everything else seemed fine. It's just a couple, they just seemed too small. I don't know.
I kind of got that vibe too. I mean, I went in and bumped it up because it's set to small on the title bar buttons or whatever. I just bumped it up to medium, and it felt good at that.
So Leo and Joe need, prescription changes in their glasses, apparently.
They just keep getting worse and worse year over year, Dan. I don't know what to do.
I'm just
definitely
kidding. I'm just joking. It was a little small, but it wasn't bad. I was able to see
after looking at that hat.
I've got it.
Well, you're on a 720p screen, Dan. It's fine.
No, I was on a 1080p screen, but it's probably it's a 17-inch laptop, so it's bigger, right? So
wow, they still make those?
There you go.
No, they don't. It's old.
Oh, okay.
Just like me.
We're the same age, Dan. It's just,
I know. I'm just kidding.
It's a mindset.
No,
That's
it's
it.
not a new laptop, but it's 1080p. It's 17-inch, so it's a little bigger. So that's probably all the difference in the world, right there.
Yeah. And before everybody complains, this was not on the XPS with the 4K screen. I'm on my 1080p.
No, this is more like before Joe complains.
Yeah. I have to put that out there because I know I'm always griping about especially with KDE based anything. But no, this was on a 1080p ThinkPad. So I don't know what the deal is. But but that's a little tweak. And anybody who's used KDE or whatever, it's an easy change. You know where the settings are. You go change it. I just chose not to.
Speaking of the title bars, though, I do have to say this, that like when you would maximize a window, they got, I don't know what you call that, what the real name for that thing
the global
is,
menu?
Global
Yep.
menu.
Yeah.
They got that so right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a KDE thing, though.
What's that?
I think that's a KDE thing, isn't it?
Is
You're
it?
talking about when it maximized and then the buttons all float up into the...
Yeah, they're in the title bar itself.
Right.
That's a KDE thing.
Well, Unity used to do that too.
Yeah, I've noticed that in on Manjaro lately. I believe that's in KDE. When you maximize, everything goes up in the box. It's
nice.
Neat. Yeah. It's
well,
interesting.
and in Nitrux they put so one thing that kind of got me weird was that Nitrux likes to put on a regular window they'll put the minimize, maximize, and close button on the right hand side.
Yep.
But then when you maximize it, it goes to the left hand side, and I'm like, I
can't do it. I can't do it.
It breaks my brain. So I've moved everything to the left. And once you did that, I think that was a very fluid, like it felt right. When you maximize something, you didn't have to snap your neck to the other side of the screen to be like, okay, there's the buttons over there now.
But what's cool about that is, I don't know if you played with this. So if you go full screen, like with Terminal, you still have I'm going to call it the start menu. You have the app menu, app drawer up in the top left.
Yeah.
It comes out over top of your full screen app, and
does.
then you have those to the next of it. So it pops out over, and that's kind of cool, but it moves those buttons up next to that app drawer. So if you go to do anything, it's up to the left. I get that. I kind of would just prefer it all on the left or it all on the right. That's the only thing.
Maybe.
Like,
I see. You want it even lefter, more left.
Well, if left, like I like it left full screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I say just make it left. Then I'm always looking to the left. But I get what they're doing. They're leaving it on the right when it's down because we're used to that. That's,
I crammed it all to the left too because I think it feels more natural if you're when you're looking for the X button to close a window, that your mouse always kind of floats to the top left because that's where it is. So I don't know, that's more of a me thing, and it might just be because I use a Mac for work. So
well, and I think too, like it used to drive me nuts running like when I would run Windows in a VM on a Mac. and I would run back and forth between apps and like parallels.
Yeah.
And so I eventually just moved all the Mac stuff to the right because I couldn't move the Windows stuff to the left. So I just moved it all to the right.
Okay.
But it reminds me of that where I would just like you said, my brain is broken. I don't know how to close this app.
Where am I now? Yeah.
Yeah. But again, the app's solid, look good, integrate well, good idea. And I think that's it. You start seeing this full ecosystem that's going on here, and at least what they see it as, and it's got a vision. There's nothing worse than opening up anything that has no vision, that has no design and no fluidity, and just you feel like it's just a bunch of parts cobbled together. This doesn't feel like that.
No, I think it makes a complete operating system. That's the goal.
Well, it's got
here.
OS in the name. It better.
Yeah, well, it's to complete your experience. It's not pull this great thing from here and that great thing from over there.
Wait, did you say Uri experience?
Yeah, but like that can work for a lot of people, right? Or a lot of distros even, where you pull in the great things and you turn out a great distro. Or you can offer the whole complete experience, building all these apps and making them all the same.
Enter Flutter. Oh, wait. Wrong conversation.
Oh, no.
No.
Flutter. It's all about Flutter, man. It's all about Flutter.
It's all about Mauikit, all right? Just write your app in Mauikit.
Cute was the first one, yeah.
So, in addition to this Mauikit UI framework, I want to talk about something else that we didn't get to play with. I'm like, I want to play with it.
I think we can play with it. It was offered, but it's no longer part of Nitrux, and that makes me very sad.
It does.
Same.
Especially because there was so much just the way that Uri explains it, that there's a lot of misunderstanding about what it was, and that just hamstrung it from the get-go. And then, there was just little paper cuts here, little paper cuts there. And then I think just overall, it didn't get the traction it needed.
Right.
Because it's a great idea. It's obviously been done in other ways as well, but I want it. I need this because I like the idea.
Right. So what we're talking about is called ZNX. And I'm sure some of you are familiar with it, or at least heard of it or seen it. But it's, I don't want to phrase it wrong because... So the idea they had behind it was that, like Android, you install and you can do Delta updates and you can do various things, and then your phone boots into recovery, updates, and then reboots. Well, ZNX kind of operates similar. You can do these frugal installations where you're not doing a full disk installation, basically with the whole. When you go into Linux, you go into the root folder, and then it's just all the folders, right?
Everything stretches on a tree from there, right? Yeah.
This big tree. So this is basically, from what I saw and understood, is you can basically deploy this, and I'm not talking about a container, because we hear deploy, we think of containers. I'm not talking about a container,
That's true.
Basically it deploys the ISO into a single folder on your disk. And so now your OS lives in the folder, basically.
In that file, that one file.
In that file, right? So you don't have all these partitions. You don't have all this. Like, you literally, your disk. If you have a terabyte disk and you have 5 gig ISOs, do the math, and that's how many desktops you can really kind of have. I mean, in theory, but it deploys it this way, and then you don't have to mess with all these partitions. You don't have to mess with a bunch of other things. So
I think that is one of the coolest parts about it, is that it's you don't install it, and you even, if you read through the blog post about how Uri is kind of looking back on it all and kind of formulating how would I have done it differently. I mean, some of the verbiage is, I think, some of the sore spots for people that are just trying to understand what ZNX actually is. But yeah, I mean, if I believe he even says that, maybe if we just use the word install, even though it was wrong,
right,
it would have given people a better sense for what it actually is. Because, I mean, it's just a file in a folder, and that is your operating system. and that doesn't leave updates out in the cold. It was to use Z-Sync to pull down all of the newer versions of the packages, but that file is immutable, right? So it doesn't change. Z-Sync, all the files and changes that you pull down from Z-Sync just sit on top of that file, and you're using the new stuff. And then for stuff that you and I would use, Noda, Bauh, Clip, Shelf, Wave, Index, every other app image you can get your hands on, those are your apps. But the system under ZNX is there, and it's immutable, and you've got all the good stuff on top, but that underlying file never actually changes. I think that's great.
So you do a refresh on a system, and you are clean. You have a clean system,
right? And this is how you can roll back.
It just pulls in the changes though too, because it's just pulling in the delta. It's not pulling down a whole brand new image,
right?
Like you update your Mac OS 10, right? You're pulling down a whole giant image.
Dude, it's like 15 gigs now. It's like 12 gigs. It's huge.
It's huge.
Do not get me started on Windows updates.
But
I just tried to update the 20HT the other day, and it took a whole day.
Really?
I'm not exaggerating at all. I woke up, got to work, and then started, messing with this because it needed to be updated. And then at the end of the workday, it was like, all right, cool, let's reboot so we can install 20H2.
I'm telling you
I'm like, for real?
That dual core 4th gen Intel Celeron you got, like, dude, it's just maybe time to upgrade.
It was a Microsoft device, Joe. It was they built.
I just put this ThinkPad on 20H2. It was fine. I just did the Dell to 20H2, and I just did my desktop.
Surface.
And I'm telling you, it was minutes.
It was a Surface, Joe. They gave it to me.
Okay.
But you're not doing that. You're just pulling down the changes. It's just a delta change, and you're off and running. It's like,
and if this sounds familiar, it's because it is.
Yeah.
Fedora Silverblue is one of the solutions that they use OS tree and all of that, but that was the idea behind
same idea.
Silverblue, the immutable OS. You pull down the updates and use flat packs, not app images, for Silverblue, but same
concept.
So Uri even said they had looked at OS tree, but felt even that was too complicated.
Yeah.
So they wanted it even simpler, and that's where ZNX came. It was just the next, simpler solution that they had come up with. But
sounds so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does sound great. And especially for, I was sitting there thinking, all the distributions that I have installed, all of the partitions I have hammered, and my poor EFI, partition.
It's full now.
I could literally put that Thunderbolt dock on here, slap a hard drive, and just put 100 distributions on it, and they would just work. And it was really cool. I was watching, didn't even have to download the ISO yourself. It was like a simple command. I think I said it to you guys earlier. It was like sudo znx deploy, put your drive, whatever, dev/sda, and then put the URL.
Yeah.
And it just pulled the ISO down and did the install, and minutes later, you're looking at a desktop.
If you can muddle your way through the instructions for Ventoy, you can handle ZNX.
This was one command.
Dude, yeah, really.
It was one command.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there drooling going, where is this magical place? How do I get there?
Yeah.
I want this in my life.
Yeah.
It sort of made a slight equation, I guess, if you will, to GNOME boxes. We reviewed GNOME boxes. And one of the things is when you boot that up or, start it up.
Oh, right.
It says, do you want to, you're looking for a Fedora VM? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You click that. It downloads it. It installs it. And then you're off to the races, right? You're into your new VM. It's simple like that. It says, here, you want this? Here you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But to be clear, because
it's different.
I did hear Uri say it, it is not a VM.
No. I get that.
It is not. I know. I know you knew, Dan. I want to say it's not a VM. It is not a container. It is its own thing. But we have to parallel it to something, right? We have to compare it to something.
Something that
those are the terms, and that kind of goes back to what you were saying about how he said about if we would have just called it install.
Yeah.
Because that's the world we live in, and that's what our brain wraps around is I install things, and I do it this way.
We're just going to splat it to your disk. We're going to call it splat.
Yes. Splat.
Hey, Splat would be cool. If you moved a file from one drive to another drive, you wouldn't call it install. So I think that was the
Right.
train of thought, right? Like you're literally not installing it, so we can't call it that.
You're just moving it. Yeah, exactly. So it's unfortunate because this is they were the plan was, again, back to the vision, was to have this set up. And if you think about it paired with the app images, and paired with the design, you have, and the work they've done trying to get everything up and running for mobile and things of that nature. Like, wow, it's like a what if, or what could be, what could be, and hopefully it's not dead. It's just again, it was the community. The whole thing is any of these tools we have, they're only as good, or they're only as useful as the people, if people will use them
right.
and accept them. And, back to Dan's, Viking video game. Like, if he's got a mallet, a wooden mallet, and I offer him, like, a bazooka to kill the boar, and he's like, I like my mallet.
Yeah, I've had it for a while.
Hang on, wait a minute. So is ZNX the bazooka or the boar?
I can lead an Elmer to the hunt, but I can't hunt the wabbit for him.
Okay,
is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it sounds like perhaps the feedback they got, or that the community just wasn't in on it.
I think they were ready for it, man. Like I think this is forward thinking. This is, you're not installing, and everybody expected an install, and this was not that. This was a different way to deal with stuff, and I think it was probably the fact that it said Ubuntu, right? It was based on Ubuntu, or there are Ubuntu bits in it. Everybody expected Ubuntu.
Well, everybody's thinking they're installing, Nix Ubuntu or something, like like whatever the Ubuntu flavor is, Nitrux Ubuntu flavor, and it is
it's not
that at all.
No.
It's not even close.
And Leo dug into that a little bit too. It's not even completely it's not even pulling from just Ubuntu repos.
Yeah, there are more packages from Devuan than there are Ubuntu.
Yeah. Who?
But I think
what? Who?
Yeah.
Who? It's come from where?
From Devuan.
Devuan.
What's that? What? Devuan.
And Ubuntu, and then they have some of their own. So
yeah, again, when we started this out, we were like talking about how it's a fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating how it is all put together, how it's come together. It's not perfect by any means. Nothing we're using. This is Linux. We know that.
Yeah.
Nothing's
right.
perfect. But it's definitely it definitely speaks to me to see again a vision, see it executed to the level that they're at. I bet if you were to ask them, they would tell you there's still ways to go. They still have things I'm sure they want to work on or execute or whatever. But back to ZNX, that was one of those things, and it played very well into. So we of course didn't get to play with it yet. Again, we might start tinkering.
We might someday
at some point, but it wasn't available at this because actually, when I installed the ISO, I'm like, okay, I get it. Yep, Calamares, blah blah blah, installed. Da 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 da. And then I start doing research on this, and I'm like, whoa. I want the other one. I want the upgrade. Like, I want the other guy. Where's that one? And I'm digging. I'm on their site. I'm like, wait, where's it? Like, I don't see it. It's not here. And so, I tried to decipher what happened to it. We reached out to them as well, and they were very kind and reached back to us really quick.
So one of the things that they reached back out to us with was the package list. So how many packages come from wherever on a freshly installed system? And it looks like there are, and this is Uri, by the way, Ubuntu and Neon. Out of the focal repository, there are 447 packages. Devuan Ceres, which is their unstable, Devuan's unstable branch, is 997, so about 1,000.
Wow. And
then Devuan Beowulf, which is their stable branch, 54, and then Nitrux's own package is 34. So, I mean, out of about 1,500 packages, about 1,000, 2/3 of the system is Devuan.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you start with an Ubuntu base, and then you add on whatever you want to on top of that, and that seemed to be a lot of Devuan and Nitrux's own stuff. But I think that was one of the wider trends that that I noticed was very responsive in general. And if you're on Twitter, if you're watching Twitter, you'll know everything that's coming down the pike. That is one
that's
thing
the
that
feed
I saw.
right there.
Yeah, Twitter. Watch Twitter because Twitter's got all the goodies.
Yeah, it does.
If, if there's an update that might break stuff, or I ran into an issue where, and of course Twitter broke it because I'm horrible at this, but there was you had to add some Ubuntu keys to make it all jive, the GPG stuff, and I'm over here copying and pasting because I'm like, Twitter won't mess with the encoding or anything like that. Yeah, no, it did, and so he helped me fix that. And so, I mean, in general, if you watch that, I mean, you'll know, 9 times out of 10 exactly what's coming down the pike, or stuff to watch out for.
Yep. So we talked about ZNX, we talked about Mauikit. The other big differentiating factor is obviously Appimage, and it's very interesting the way it's integrated. So let me tell you my dolphin story.
You're a fish out of water, or?
Well, sure.
Porpoise.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. All of the above. So, I was, you get this thing installed and you're like, all right, app images. Cool. So I start downloading app images and I fire up, Index file manager. So that way I can go in and make the app images executable, because that's what you do in everything else I've ever used an app image on. And I can't do it in Index because it is so simple that that's not an option. I couldn't find it. I couldn't do anything. So I go, I'm going to just install Dolphin. So I installed Dolphin and I go in and I still couldn't do it. But the reason why is because you download the app image, you look in the app drawer, it's there.
Yeah.
It's ready to go.
Bingo.
It just works.
Immediately.
You don't have to make anything executable. It just happens.
Yeah.
And it is instant. It's not like when you install a Snap or a Flatpak, sometimes I think more with Snap, where you almost got to reboot or log out, log back in, or
I don't know.
refresh something. And then it's there. It's there. It just took a minute or whatever. I mean, you download. I didn't even move it out of the downloads folder. It just there it is.
Because it watches
in the app drawer. Launch it.
I think it's Appimage D is the demon that's just kind of watching the downloads folder. Demon. And when the demon sees that, like immediately, and I noticed it with Discord, because that was the first app that I got, so I could chat to you Yahoos.
Still haven't got Discord to go.
Yeah. So I downloaded it and I opened up. By the way, it may be a Plasma thing. I don't know what it is, but in Nitrux, it's the only OS I've ever noticed that all of my keys work on top of my ThinkPad. So I hit the little magnifying glass and a KRunner pops out. I'm like, yeah, this is fancy.
Yeah.
So I hit that. I type in Discord, looking for it, trying to install it. And it's like, launch Discord. I'm like, what? What do you mean? So I click it and there goes Discord. What? So it was just, I didn't expect it to be that good, I guess is the word for it.
Smooth, intuitive. Yeah, it just did. It was easier than, it was so easy, it felt hard. Like,
well, Joe was looking for a way to make it hard.
I'm trying to make it executable. Yeah. You're trying to find it to install it.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I'm here. Yeah. Like, just let's go.
Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah. So now the thing with Discord is, because Discord is Discord, if you don't update it the second,
right, of course,
like right away, it doesn't work. And the app image is like a version old. So I couldn't get it to run at all. It wants to download. I couldn't get it to run.
Joe, I think you broke it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because Dan was the first one of us to actually get Discord working. Yeah.
Well, when I launched it was not the Flatpak.
Right. I did not use the Flatpak. No, I didn't use the Flatpak.
Okay.
No.
So when I launched the app image, it goes, hey, we've got something new for you. What do you want to do?
Oh, I didn't get
it's like download. Yeah, I get it every time I launch the app image.
So hold on. Now, this is getting to something that I dislike about app images in general, and that is, where do you get them from? So
which one did
you get it from the Pling place?
I went, so in Nitrux, when I want an app image, I go to their website. It's like, go here. So I went there and I type in Discord, and it's Discord.
Yeah.
That's where I got it.
So
where they told me to go get it.
There are two places to get app images, and I think that is probably what the problem we're running into is. If you go to the Pling one, I think that one is appimagehub.org. And then there is image.github.io. So there are two places to go. I got my Discord from the GitHub. It is a massive list with links to all these app images. You download them and they're done. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I got mine. I suppose you may have gone to the other one, Appimage Hub.
Oh, I went to the first guy on the list, wherever they told me.
It probably was
That's
Pling.
the one I got.
know we were complaining about the Pling website. Like, where do you search? There's 4 boxes. It's the one in the
Oh, yeah.
very
It's
top.
got 11 search boxes, but only one of them is actually a search box.
Right.
The other ones are just boxes for you to type stuff in and feel like you're not doing anything.
Yeah. So that may be the issue there, because I tried to stay with
It
the
is.
GitHub list.
It's version like 2.1.
0.
And I think Discord's like 3.
Well, it's 0,
something.
0.12 is probably what you got. 0.13
Okay.
is where we are.
That's
on
what it is.
Discord. This is Discord. Nobody cares about Discord.
We're recording on Discord. I care about Discord.
Well, I mean, we don't care. Let's put it this way: nobody cares about the version of Discord. They just care that Discord runs.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just that Discord only works if you're on the right version.
Yeah,
Correct.
that makes a difference.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's only going to work if you're running the
But then
latest and
somebody,
greatest,
and I
so.
forgot who it was, said just run it in the web, and I'm like, oh God, you just blew my mind. Yeah, of course you can do that. Why wouldn't I do that?
That's so easy.
I know, another one of those where it's too easy. It's hard.
Give me an app.
I like apps.
And we're trying to use the system.
True.
Like
Very true.
I'm trying to immerse myself in the
Gotta get that
Appimage.
Appimage. Yeah.
Okay,
And it worked great for me,
Appimage.
so I don't know.
Yeah, they're already using Devuan
Yeah.
packages,
man, you
so
get-
we have to use the Appimage.
Gotta stick with that OpenRC, right?
So it does segue into something that, like you talked about, being a little disappointed about ZNX. I was a little disappointed that they didn't have their store, the NX store.
And
That
the
looks
images
so
look so
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, that would be great. That would complete it right there. You'd be able to get your apps. You'd be able to get the right apps. It'd be kind of a little curated, if you will, and just kind of guide you to the one that you want to get. And that might have eliminated Joe's problem. And so I hope they pick that back up. I really do, because it looks good.
Yeah, what I end up doing is going into. I just went and enabled Flatpaks. That was the way to go.
Now,
So-
is it just me? I swear Flatpaks are. I did not enable them. Were they?
I had to enable it. Now Flatpak support is automatically there,
Mhm.
but I had to go in and tick the box in
Discover?
Discover to make them searchable.
I swear I didn't. I would have noted that.
Yeah, I had to.
I swear I didn't, because that's how I installed Telegram, because there's no Telegram app.
That's where I
image.
got there's no Telegram.
And when I downloaded the XZ for Telegram, there's a whole thing about Telegram. So I tried to get Telegram from the Devuan repositories, I believe is where it came from, and it was like your version of the terminal gave me some terminal gibberish, but it basically meant your version of Qt is too new.
Oh,
So Telegram is depending on an older version. I'm like, that's weird. Okay, I always see that error in reverse, right? Like
Right.
you did in your Qt. So I'm like,
Right.
all right, fine. So I go out and do my normal, which is go to the Telegram website, download the XZ, extract it into home folder bin, and then run it from there. Same deal. Well, it didn't tell me that. It just didn't go. And then I ran it in the terminal, and it told me the same thing. I'm like, that's weird. So then, yeah, Flatpak at that point was just like, here, have Telegram. And I'm like, thanks, Flatpak. Anytime I ever have any issues, Flatpak is going to come rescue me.
Quick note about Devuan. Is it more interesting that when you type in Devuan into Google search that Debian is returned?
I mean, it is Debian.
It's
just
kind of
without
Debian.
System
I know,
D,
yes.
right?
No System D, right?
Yeah.
It's just System D free.
Dude, I love that. Google's like, do you actually mean
You
Debian?
obviously mean Debian.
it's pretty popular, so I can see how
Yeah.
that gets suggested.
Right.
Debian's like the granddaddy to everything, just about.
Exactly.
Yep, Big Deb.
Yep.
Yep.
So we got Appimage, we've got ZNX, we've got Mauikit. So how does it all come together? Does it all come together?
It does. Let me
Um,
tell you why. Here's
okay.
my thing.
Yeah, go.
Let's hear
I've got
it.
a vision for this. It's on my laptop already. If I can get a Pine phone in my hand right now and figure out some way to put Nitrux on there, I would so enjoy the it's weird to me. Station. It will not stick in my head. So I'll search for it. Because, my reflex is to type in terminal, but I have two. There's console and there's station on my machine, so I have to, say station. But I can never remember the word station. So,
Yep.
anyway.
What happens when you type in TERM?
Well, console comes up first
they
because
both
I
come
use
up?
it more, and then Station is next.
Yeah.
If I could get Station on a phone, I would be happy.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Noda it's actually a really good note-taking app. Bauh is the same way. Bauh, I can't even with Bauh. But so Bauh is the same way.
You sure it's Bauh?
No,
yeah, no,
I'm not.
It's not
I
that.
mean, it could go two ways. It could be a buh, not a boo.
It totally
I don't
could
know.
be. I have no idea. And then, same with Index, where if these were on a phone,
that'd be
I would
nice.
really, really enjoy them. And they blow the Android versions out of the water.
They do.
Yeah, I would really enjoy them also on a tablet.
Oh, for sure.
Even better.
That's where I was thinking. And even I could see like the Nitrux app drawer, the way it just the way the whole thing kind of
it's not
and the way
it's not bad.
the
It's
minimize and maximize buttons blend into the top and all that stuff. Again, like that's a KD deal, but this feels, and the way the dock is already at the bottom, like it feels like ready for a mobile
I
OS.
could go for a tablet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I really got
and,
that mobile vibe the whole time I was there. It felt like I just kept thinking to myself, like, how good would this look on a phone? Like, pretty good.
But even still, it still works really well for a desktop too. So
works great.
You can have that converged experience between all your devices if that's your thing, and I think it can give you that complete experience.
Yeah.
Yep. So we definitely, I think, all came to some consensus of where we felt this particular project was at, and what it has going for it. And I think we've spent quite a bit of time highlighting the vision, and all of the positive things that set it apart. I think everything we discussed really sets it apart from your standard distro, your standard, Ubuntu base, your standard whatever. It doesn't feel like just another Linux distro. It definitely feels like Nitrux OS, its own thing. Now, that said, just because I have a vision and you can see the vision, it doesn't mean we've reached the vision.
Mm-hmm.
So, in its current state, and I'll go first. I don't mind. In its current state, I feel like it is fun to play with, and it was good to get into. I feel like we're a little early. Like it just, they're a smaller team. They're working on it.
Yep.
Whatever. Their makeup is. I feel like we're a little early. Like another couple years, another couple releases. Maybe the whole deploy thing the ZNX thing ends up working out. I don't know. I love where it's going. I love where it's at, but I can't. I'm not sure for me. It's like, hey, I'm replacing Manjaro with this, and I'm just going to run with it as my day to day. Personally, I just feel like it's. We've reviewed a lot of distros and looked at them, and there are ones where I get in and I'm like, okay, I see where they're going. I don't want to go there,
right?
And it doesn't work for me now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a I'm not sure I'm all in on app images yet because there's just not enough of them. I do like that Flatpak's there, but I like where they're going. It works well as it is. I want to see where this goes. I feel like we're a little early. I don't even want to call it early days because it is a full functioning operating system. It's not like it's not.
It might be early access, but it's not broken early access, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's not beta. It's not alpha.
It's not Gumby trolls running around. I mean, it's better than that.
It's not Gumby trolls.
I mean, it's basically Devuan, right? I mean, it's basically Devuan and Ubuntu and with Nitrux stuff sprinkled in there. So I mean,
and Neon.
a little Neon
it's the
too,
latest plasma. So I mean, it is. It's a full functioning system that has a focus on app images. But I think what's holding it back is searchability of app images, and this is not necessarily a fault of Nitrux, but we need that store, that Nitrux store that was going to make it easy to get app images. That I think is the linchpin. That's the thing that I feel like if I had that on boot, I would feel complete.
Yep.
That if I could just type it in the Discord, boom, download, boom, done.
Yep.
It would make it it would make it feel way smoother than
wouldn't even
having to
think
go to a
about it. You just
website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it is very so when I'm in Windows, I don't use an app store. I go get what I want and I put it on my machine.
Yeah, so it feels that way.
But that is my Microsoft workflow.
True.
Like I've been
Very
doing
true.
Windows that way
Yeah,
since
but I think there's a growing
Windows 3.1.
There's a growing number of people that are trending to go to the store, right? Because they've picked up that mentality.
Somewhat, but sometimes
entirely,
their
but-
apps,
but
their store apps aren't even good. Sometimes,
No,
like
but you can get a lot of the same apps that you're normally
Yeah.
going to get. You want to get
some.
Let me blow this up for you, Dan, real quick. Like, look,
Yeah.
Well, I know it's not perfect. I know it's not perfect. I know
Right.
it's not. I'm not
I
naive
would go
enough
to
to
the
think
Windows
that.
store and I would go download the Plex app because that's where the Plex app came from. And
Yeah.
then
Right.
Edge was like, oh, but PWAs though.
Right.
And so I deleted
know,
the Plex
I
app
know.
and then just
Yep.
did it in a PWA because it was way easier and I didn't
And it
have
was-
to worry about the store.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I know Microsoft wants a store. And
I know.
some of the software is
they
good.
should have a store, but it's not. I'm just saying, Linux mode is get me my store, get me my
Sure.
whatever,
Yeah.
get me my software, and that's the only thing. If I could wrap my head around app image mode, right, where I'm just like, forget this plink ploy plot whatever store, like whatever that the terrible search website, like
That's why I didn't use it.
let me just go. Let me go get my, and I'm just going to throw whatever. Let me go get my Discord app image. Let me go get my Telegram app image. Let me go get my whatever, because that's what I would do in Windows anyways.
Right.
So I can do it, and I think people can, but it's just not the mode you're in
Right.
when you pull up Linux and you have a perfectly good store sitting there.
Right.
That doesn't search the pack, because then it also doesn't have Telegram in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the debs, right? Like, because whereas if I was on Manjaro, or not Manjaro, but like if I was on Ubuntu, right? Or if I was on, I don't know, Pop OS, like I could just search Telegram in the store and it's going to tell me like, here's the Flatpak, here's a snap, or, you have it. That's not here. So you have to go hunting for software.
Mm-hmm.
That's the barrier. I think that's the last little thing that, and maybe they're is it an NX store or whatever it was?
Yeah. I don't think it's a hurdle
Yeah.
that you can't overcome, though. I mean, I
No.
think that's the thing, and I think
No,
it's close. I think they're working on it. So, like we said, it's early access, but it's not broken early access, and I think it can only go one way, but better.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, we could run Gentoo. It's not something we can't overcome. Like
No. I don't think it's like that hard. Like
it's not. It's
no,
just
I don't think it's
not-
too hard. I guess yes.
No, I know, but it's not easy either.
No.
I downloaded. So here's why it's not easy. I'm going to put on my new user hat. I'm going to put on my whatever. I walk in and I go, I need some apps. Oh, they have an app store. It's not here. Okay, let me see what they say about it. I go to their website. It says, hey, go to plinkployplot.org, search for your app images. Now I go there and I'm, I want to be on Discord where the cool kids are. So I search for Discord. I get Discord. I don't know what to do with it. And it doesn't work anyways because that app image is out of date.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying is for the vision that they have that I can see, that's not part of it.
Yeah.
That's not part of that vision.
Yeah,
so
and
it's just them figuring out that other piece, and however if they end up doing it in a store or somebody comes out with some jam up, like FlatHub is easy.
Yeah.
Right? Like FlatHub, you can pretty much go find what you want and it's legit.
Well,
There's not 10 FlatHub sites.
I think the thing about FlatHub, though, is that most of the distribution is integrated in to their store. So you don't even know that you're getting a FlatHub. You just click the go button.
No, I'm saying even if you go to FlatHub.
Right.
Even if you went to the website,
Yeah.
even if AppImage didn't integrate in a store and you went to plinkployplot.com and you looked for your app images.
You got to go to Appimage Hub. That's kind of where he went wrong.
.com.
But I went where Nitrux told me to
I
go.
know. I get it.
So that's what I'm saying is like I'm trusting them. Now they can change the link and send me
but
to the better one.
The issue was not even their fault because AppImageHub.com does have all the app images. It's that the author of that app image hasn't not come back around and repackaged the new Discord and uploaded it to that website.
And it's been a month, and he still hasn't.
Right.
So,
that's a problem.
And that is not Nitrux.
No,
problem, but it is
that's such
a solution that they don't have.
Right.
Well, I mean,
that other OSs have the solution because their app store just does it for you.
I don't know. I mean, it is a Nitrux problem because they do tell you to go get the app image. I mean, at least the paradigm is go get app images. So I mean, it's not something that they themselves could fix, but it certainly is something that they themselves would get the flack for. So
because they chose this lane,
right?
For apps,
exactly.
Whatever you feel about that. So
I will say though, there are a handful of people that are listening to this podcast for the past 15 minutes, and they've been like, "Will you guys shut up about this? Bauh exists." Right?
Yes, exactly.
There's a way to do
we know, guys. We're
right.
gonna get there.
We'll get there.
Bah. So we're gonna get. We know.
We're gonna get something, all right.
Yes, we're gonna get something there. But we're approaching this from I just fired up this beautiful distro.
You're not wrong.
Which is very attractive. I got in. I want to go, and I hit a Discord block right away. So hopefully that's part of the vision going forward. But as far as just some of the nitty-gritty details, again, Nitrux is there. What's the name of the desktop again?
Nomad.
Sorry, I want to kept wanting to say NX, but it's not. It's Nomad. Nomad is the DE. That they have,
just the desktop because Plasma is the DE. Nomad is the extras on top of Plasma. Yeah,
is the extra. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Say that 5 times fast. Oof. Anyways, So it is running a baked version of Plasma.
There you
with
go.
Extras.
I like that.
Lots of cake. Yeah. Baked
Nomad
Plasma.
frosting.
We'll call it that. Yep. Now the kernel. So this was interesting. So Dan's running like 5.13 RC1, and we're on like 5.4. So I don't know how that happened, but I think Dan selected a different kernel. Went a different route. The game. I don't know. I was shocked because I was thinking of, and I had heard Uri talk about rolling. How he likes rolling and up to date, this and that, and the QT was all up to date, but then I'm like, I went and looked at my kernel and it was like 5.4. I'm like, well,
that's what's in 2004s, which
it is.
Well, and technically it is LTS too.
It is LTS, and it is. I don't know. But then Dan went to about
somehow I installed like 5.10. I don't know where I got that from or what I did to do that, but like
looking at that version number, that's not from Ubuntu. That's the generic kernel. Yeah, that comes from kernel.org. Like that is the real kernel.
I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
You've done something fishy, Dan, and I have no idea. But speaking of doing something, this isn't even fishy. This is just dumb. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I look back in the history of the commands that I've run, and I did it. I uninstalled, what is the name of this thing? It's important. NX-desktop-app images. Folks, don't do this. Do not remove this package.
Don't try this at home.
Is it the whole desktop environment?
No, it's like all of the apps that you would use. This is before I installed console.
Why did you do that?
I don't remember. Actually, I do kind of remember.
Did you copy pasta this or what?
No, there's another package called NX Desktop App Images Legacy, and I'm like, oh, cool. What if I do that? And I think when I installed that, it may have like put
probably
app
conflicted.
images in the get rid of it pile, and I got rid of it or something. I don't know what I did. Look, it was totally my fault.
Whoopsie-daisy.
But I click on station again. Hey, I remembered it. I click on station to run a command, and it's like station not found. I'm like, what do you mean station not found? Is station oh my God, station is a desktop app image. No. So yeah, totally ruined myself that way.
Whoa.
That's fun. That's fun. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, I totally did.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything like that this time. For once, I didn't blow it up.
Yeah, so it was all
I didn't
me.
blow it up. I just had like this great brand new kernel that came from
Cool
some
kernel,
other
man. You're the cool
place.
kid.
That you don't even know how you got. So that doesn't ring
No,
true. Like nobody's swapping out kernels like
I was following commands from
accident.
somewhere. Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, so you got that. Now, I've been running on Wayland this whole time. You guys both said you were on X.
Yeah, I don't know how you
right?
did that. So speaking of not knowing how you did that, I'm pretty sure.
I just selected it. It was default. It was right at the top.
I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure you like looked in the options and accidentally chose the wrong one when you closed it.
I mean, it's on the top left.
I know.
It's like you have the option. You could pick either or in the top left.
Yeah, and it says X11 by default.
And if it's the last one you picked,
though,
then that'll be the one you get next time, too.
We need to keep better notes, okay?
Wayland runs great. It's been running fine.
It's good.
Yep.
Yeah, unless maybe it's the reason that Discord won't work. I have no idea.
No, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I went with X the whole time. And
same here.
When I went with Wayland, things got a little chunky, like animation-wise. So going back to X,
I did notice a little bit of that, actually. I did notice a little bit of time lag sometimes when I would... I'm like, I know I clicked that.
And I think Plasma's working on that. I mean, that's actually one of their focuses here in these past couple of updates that they've come out with. And it's, this bit in Wayland is working. This bit in Wayland is working. So it's still cooking.
And I should have tried it too, because I'm on NVIDIA. It's a, combo NVIDIA card. That would have been really fun, probably.
Yeah.
So I probably should have tried it, though, just to see where it's at.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I stayed right on X.
The worst I saw was a couple of stutters and maybe some, like, when I hovered over something, the tooltip had, like, weird pixely stuff around it or whatever.
Yeah,
so I don't know what that was about. But, yeah, that's just a Plasma thing.
But other than that, I mean, it is exactly what we've talked about. Like, I mean, it definitely feels...
it's good.
It's
definitely got the QT vibe, but it is its own little world.
Yep.
And I've enjoyed playing in it. Again, guys... In my mind, I don't think this is for a new user. I think it will be.
Yes.
I think that's where they're going. I think right now you got to know what you're doing, and you got to be able to research what you want to do a little bit. But it's pretty and it's nice, and it delivers on some of the promise that I will say. We've looked at another distro that looks pretty out of the box, but breaks really fast.
Yeah, we tried hard to. I tried hard to break it with a different kernel,
right.
Even.
Yeah. I didn't have any breakage, but
just don't delete all the system apps and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a lot of distros out there that offer some pretty, but that's definitely lipstick on a pig.
Right.
Whereas this felt like
it was good
lipstick on a almost ready to cook pig. Like it was, it's just not quite ready to cook. So, but I feel like it's coming. So you guys, what do you think? Good, bad, ugly?
I think it's something to watch out for and something good. I really, I like their vision. I think the apps they have, they're really complete and they look good. Definitely watch out. Yeah.
I made a tweet a few weeks ago, and one of the things...
You made a tweet?
I made one.
I made a tweet.
I carried
you made it from nothing.
For a while. I gave tweet to it. And it was amazing.
On his workbench.
Yeah, exactly. On my workbench with that ball peen hammer. Yeah. So
yes.
So and it was basically the DMG style install, right? Drag it in here, and then but I don't want to think about it again. Like, you just handle it for me. I don't care. And I think this is the closest thing that I have seen in Linux to that, and that is what sells me on Appimage. This is it. Like, if you're going to sell someone an Appimage, it's going to be with something like this. So I like the vision. I like where they're going with it. It's a shame that Z and X isn't, I guess really, still in the public eye and looking at us and something that we can use. And I say that they even said, just ask us for it and we'll let you play with it. But it's just not out in the public right now. And that I think is the thing that I most want to see, because it's such a good idea.
Yeah, I think it is.
Just, oh man, I'm excited for that. If it ever comes back, I hope it comes back. That is something that I want to look out for. But my favorite thing about Nitrux is you can tell someone with an eye for looking good, like for stuff that looks good. You can tell that someone like that is behind this.
Yeah,
because I liked it. Other than the size of the title bar, I made that a little bit bigger. But everything else was great. I enjoyed it.
Also, and I'd be remiss to say their website matches.
Oh yeah,
that's very beautiful.
very, very pleasant to look at.
So Linux Mint take notes. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe hire Uri to do your website.
I mean, he is a graphics guy, so maybe that's what you got to do.
Somebody yeah. Hey, Mint. Yeah.
So I don't know. Did you guys dual boot this with anything else?
Yeah, with
dual
Endeavor
boot
for
everything.
me.
Okay, yeah. So you got to see the grub menu screen too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Nice grub.
That's very
Yep.
nice looking
Yep.
too. Yeah.
Yep, everything top to bottom. I think polished. It's one of the most polished front to back anythings I've seen running a Linux kernel ever.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think bottom line for me is the things that are holding Nitrux back are not directly under Nitrux's control.
Sure.
Right.
Well, except for the store thing.
Well, it's good. It's a bright future ahead for them. I think.
I think so too. Yep.
If they can continue to execute their vision, I'm excited to see what they do. Housekeeping.
Housekeeping. Excuse me, sir.
Housekeeping.
You need your house kept?
We get your house.
Well,
kept.
I used to keep my house, but now I have no floor, so I stopped sweeping the dirt.
What do you call
Maybe-
a house with no floor?
Mine.
All
Maybe
right.
we could craft one for you. How about we craft a
Oh,
wooden
right on
one?
that workbench right over there.
Yeah, well,
Yep. Let's get on the workbench, get a wooden mallet with some blood and some hair in it
And make
from
a
the
house
pig that
so
we
we can
beat to
keep it.
death. Yep. Valheim.
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 All right. So to start off housekeeping, I have to give a little Ubuntu and flavors PSA here to get it kicked off. The 2104 Hirsute Hippo release is approaching us rapidly, and the beta is scheduled to be released on April 1st. And so we're going to throw out a call for people to test and hopefully help find and report your bugs so that
April
we can
1st coming at you like a freight train.
Yeah,
But
that's no.
is it going to
that's
be
no
released
fool's
on
joke.
April 1st?
No fool's
Is
joke.
it?
Testing starts.
That's when we're going to
Okay.
do the testing. That's when the beta is scheduled to be released. And so hopefully we can get folks in there and testing things so that we can be all set for the final release.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got a Telegram and IRC channel set up to help people. And you can stay tuned to your favorite flavor for announcements. I'll make sure to get some links in the show notes. The Linux and the open source community have some fantastic members, and we want to make sure to highlight that. In our showcase for this episode, we want to draw your attention to FLOSS Weekly.
Or as I like to call it, Fluweekly.
Weekly. And this is from the Twit network, and they probably don't need our endorsement because they're a pretty large network. However, this is a really great podcast, and they have some great interviews from folks in the FLOSS community. For example, this last episode, they interviewed Jeremy Rustin, who is the creator of TiddlyWiki, and that was really interesting. So I don't know if you know anything about that or not, but
Oh, wait, what's
I thought it was really good.
What's a tiddlywiki?
I'm intrigued.
I can't even say that
I've
right.
heard of Tiddlywinks.
So TiddlyWiki is a serverless, I guess, if you will, wiki, and that's pretty cool. So you should really dive into that on a separate thing. But it's open source, and it was interesting to hear the path that he took with that.
Cool.
TiddlyWiki.
Wiki.
Tiddlywiki. Is that the name
I
of
feel
the
like
show?
I'm going to say something wrong.
I
if
feel like
say
that's
it.
the name of the show now. It has to be.
TiddlyWiki, yes. Oh, it's a very
TiddlyWiki.
small wiki, I guess.
It's for recipes.
I'm done.
All right, I got nothing either. Yeah, I don't know.
Tiddlywiki.
It's
Small Tiddlywiki. I don't give a flying Tiddlywiki.
anyway. FLOSS Weekly. They interview some great folks who are very active in the FLOSS community. I highly suggest it.
Get your floss on.
And you can feel free to send your emails to contact@linuxuserspace.show, and hopefully we can discuss them in an upcoming episode. I know we've got a couple in the queue that we hopefully will bring up next episode, because that's going to be a discussion episode. So
We didn't forget about you, I promise. We just, we don't do the feedback every show.
nah, we save them up and we do them all at once.
It's like you charge them up, right? Like you got to charge that battery up, and then, for that
Then we'll let it
steady
release.
stream of energy.
Slow build.
That's it.
We also want to invite you over to our new Matrix room. You can hop on over there to join the fun, and I'll make sure to get a link in the show notes.
I don't know that we still even understand what Matrix is, But I mean,
think we got
there's
a
a room.
better understanding, but yeah.
I mean, just at me, okay? At me,
Yeah.
bro.
And if you don't like Matrix, we've got Telegram. You can join us over there, linuxuserspace.show/Telegram. And if that's not enough, we also have a Discord server. And I'll make sure to get the link in the show notes for that as well. You can follow us on Twitter @linuxuserspace to get all the latest announcements for this show and highlights for things that impact your user space. Lastly, don't forget to rate this podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast application, and like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. You can always get more information on our website, linuxuserspace.show.
Hit that bell. I don't know what that means, but all the YouTubers say it.
Yeah, ring the bell.
Let's point at it. Is there a
Yeah, you
can we
gotta
point?
Yeah, so for you, yeah, it's over there. Yeah. I mean, one of us will point at it. It's that one.
We're pointing in every direction.
Yeah, it's somewhere. You'll find it. Promise.
This is at focus. We're gonna focus on something. I think. I don't know how to pronounce it. So we're just gonna wing it. I have no idea. It's
Wasn't that what we
Boo?
normally do?
It's Boo.
Bauh.
But
Bauh.
Bah.
Bow.
Bah, bah.
Bow.
It's
Is
bowel. It's bowels.
Is it Bauh or Bow or Baw?
I think it's Bauh.
I think it's
Bah?
bah. Bah.
I mean, I
think
like
it's
Baw
Bah.
because it's real short.
I'm going
Bah.
to say for the longest time I wanted to call it bruh.
Yeah,
Oh.
bruh.
But there's no R.
They should have called it bruh because it's like it's your app image
Yeah.
bruh. Like
Yeah, bruh.
Yeah.
This is where my apps are, bruh.
Bruh, install
It's-
Discord.
It's close.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be the coolest package manager, man. Like you would
Yeah.
feel like when you alias sudo to please and you're like, please install, apt install this,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is the other way around. It's just bruh, install it. Come
bruh,
on.
Bruh,
Get
give
it.
me my app.
Yeah.
bruh, get it.
So
I like it.
I think you may have gathered by now what this is. Bauh is I don't want to call it a package manager because it's not really that.
No, it's not.
Really, because snaps, Flatpaks, app images, none of those are what we would assume a package is, right? These are these containerized formats and all of that. Well, that's what Bauh does. Bauh installs, all of that. So you type in Discord, and it's like, here, you got 3 options. Or if there's more than one app image, it's like more than 3 options. But you get the snap, you get the Flatpak.
Do you want the one that doesn't work? Do you want the one that works? Or do
Yeah.
you want the flat
But it
pack?
tells
and
you the
snap?
difference. Like, you get
just
a choice.
install them all. It's like Russian
You can
roulette.
choose it's like this one doesn't work. Select me now. Yeah.
It's roulette. You type in Discord after you've installed all 3 of them, and then you just run
Right.
it, and you don't know which one you're
There you
getting.
go.
You just hope you're signed into it, right? Like
That's it.
I like it because the icon is next to every single one. So I mean, if you know what the Flatpak, snap, or app image icon is, it's easy to say, all right, I want that
Yep.
one. But that's what Bauh is. It is a searchable, essentially, database that's hooked up to FlatHub and Appimage Hub and the Snap Store. You type it in, you click install, it's installed, and you run it. So it makes this really easy. And this is what I used in Nitrux in lieu of, was it the Nomad Software Center, NX Software Center?
NX? I'm not
Whatever that was going to
sure.
be.
Yeah.
That's
The
what
thing.
Bauh became for me.
Okay.
And the only thing I disliked about it was during the install, there was no Debian install, which would have probably converted over to Devuan as well. So they said, so I just followed the Ubuntu install instructions.
Okay.
And
And it worked?
It's yes, but there were a couple of packages that were like, nah, I don't know. I don't know
what you
that.
got
I'm
there.
not
no,
having
And
no.
I'm like,
the couple packages were like, bruh.
yeah, no,
Nah.
bruh, no. So like
Bah,
any
nah.
true Linux user, I just kept going, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
like, errors, whatever. I don't care. It's fine.
Update again.
Yeah.
Just update again. It'll go away.
Warnings are one thing. They're not so bad.
Yeah, exactly. So, but luckily for me, you just keep trucking, and it works. It actually
Okay.
does work. It seemed to me that the package that I didn't get from Devuan, I actually installed from pip. So, Bauh, you
Oh.
get it from pip, and I think it realized I didn't have. It's like a Python Qt something dependency.
Okay.
It realized I didn't have that, and it pulled it down for me anyway through pip instead of through my package manager. So it was magic.
Mm.
I'm just gonna say it was
And
magic.
now we know how you deleted all your app
I mean,
images,
look, when-
desktop
when you just keep
environment,
forging
and
ahead.
software.
Sometimes it happens.
I thought
But
I was
I-
crazy one.
Yeah, right. You're the one that ended up with the weird kernel that nobody knows.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but it worked.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good idea how I borked my system. You have no idea how you got that kernel. So.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
running kernel 5.15.162.931E.
Not even release candidate yet.
Yeah.
No. It's like alpha candidate.
So Bauh was kind of it wasn't the easiest thing in the world to install. You kind of have to be familiar with the command line a little bit to get it in there. But once you get it in, once you install it, it's actually it filled that gap for me, and I felt like, yeah, I could totally get along with this. Once the Software Center comes out for Nitrux, I think that's it.
Mhm.
That's the thing that was missing for me, and Bauh really kind of showed that to me. And it's actually how I installed Telegram after all this. I was like, well, no Appimage, but I remember there was a
Cheater.
thing, and I couldn't figure out the name. That was the thing. I feel like this is a silly name because I can never remember it, but I also can't remember station,
Bauh?
so that doesn't
Yeah.
You
say
will
a lot
remember
for
it
me.
now.
Well, because
Yeah.
I said Bauh like 18 times in the
Yeah,
past
bruh.
5 minutes.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
bruh. That's
bruh.
what I'm going to remember.
I know you will.
I'm pretty
He's
sure
gonna
it
be
was
looking
called
for
bruh. Yeah.
All on the web. Where's that bruh?
Nope.
Where's that bruh at?
Nope. So super easy way, and it works on all the systems. If you have Snap, Flatpak, or Appimage, well, Appimage is everywhere. But if you have Snap or Flatpak, it integrates into that immediately. And if you just don't like your Software Center, you can use Bauh instead. But it was great. I really enjoyed it. I know y'all have used it before. What's y'all's experience with it?
Oh, I like the experience. I think it's great having all of the different formats all in one place. And I know some of the software stores do that too. I just think it's a better interface for me. I don't know. I just prefer it, but that's just I
Bauh's
think it's
killer
good.
feature is the app image search, because none of the stores have that I know of.
Because they don't have it anywhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I used it on Endeavor. It was especially when Endeavor was first coming out for apps. Now Manjaro, I want to say I used it on Manjaro, but then Manjaro integrated Snap and Flatpak into
Right. So you didn't need
theirs, so it wasn't an issue. And I've never been an app image guy anyway, so I didnn't really care if the app. Actually, I still don't.
Well,
I still don't care. I still don't care if it's an app image, a Snap, a Flatpak, a Deb. I just want the dang thing.
Yeah.
So I want to go. That's where
Yeah.
a software center is good for me.
Okay.
Like that's why I like Manjaro so much. I just go, I want X, and it's like here.
Well,
I don't care where it came from.
I did
just
use it
want it.
on Manjaro when we were on Manjaro. I used it a lot there. And it also tells you that it's coming from the AUR or, know, all those.
Yeah, it does AUR as well.
Yeah, so
Yep.
I don't know. It's not so bad, right?
It's good. Oh, it's great. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying Manjaro integrated most of that already into theirs.
They do.
Endeavor, I don't think has or does. So I would still use it on Endeavor.
Okay.
But it's a great piece of software. It's really good. It's the first one I ever used that actually pulled from those resources altogether.
Mm-hmm.
You could always enable those resources, but you still had to go find them in different places.
Do a little work.
Now it's all in one place.
Yeah, so it doesn't
very cool.
visually integrate in with the NX idea, but
No.
Yes.
I mean it does complete the vision. I think it let me get a hold of all the app images I wanted, and that's all I had to think. Just double click it, be done.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Coming up next time, stuff. Let's talk about stuff. So coming up next time, we'll have our typical off distro episode, and it'll cover various topics. Sounds like we got some emails to address and all that.
It occurs to me that we need to name this segment too, because off distro
Yes,
is not right.
I don't know. It's not either.
By
Yeah.
fortnightly thingy.
The one where we don't talk about a distro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one we're doing next. So that'll be on the next episode. But also, this is also where we typically would pick the next distro, which we're not going to do today. What we are going to do is it's been almost 20 episodes, and we are going to take a break. Everybody here deserves a break and regroup, and then figure out what the next season looks like. So next episode will be the end of season 1. Also, this episode, at least as it sits currently, will be my last with the show for a variety of reasons, just work, life, all the things. We're all three of us here work full-time jobs. We've all got families to take care of, and time is not a static thing for us, the availability of it, and mine has shrunk. So
wait, you guys go to work?
Well, we do. You go play golf with leprechauns.
That's also
the rest of us. Good idea.
The rest of us have businesses to run and jobs to do. But so my time availability has shifted considerably. So it's been a challenge for me the last few to get the time carved out to do it. So again, family has to always come first in my life, and I know I speak for the other two guys as well.
Yeah,
and then work is a close second, at least work that pays bills. This is work, but it don't pay no bills. We do this because we love it.
Labor of love, right?
It is one of the reasons the reasons we started it. So, but again, after the next episode, the guys will be deciding kind of what their next move is and what maybe season 2 is going to look like, and how that would shape up. So that's the next time for this one, but it has been a pleasure, and I appreciate everybody who's listened in and put up with my rants, raves, and sarcasm. It's if you're only good at a couple things, do them well, and I do all those things well, so I'm proud of myself. But thanks. That's really it. So the next episode will be a feedback and cover a couple topics, but it's been fun, and we'll see you guys in Telegram. I'll be around Discord, Telegram. I'll probably have to go start tooting somewhere on something.
We went and signed up. You can't just not toot.
I know. I'm gonna go
toot all over everybody.
I'll toot
here and toot there, and just make sure that people know you're alive.
You're a toot. They're a toot.
Yeah, I'll boost
everywhere.
Your toot. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might even. Yeah, I'll boost your toot, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. It works. I'm fine with it. We can toot about tiddly wikis.
Hey, now I think that's a good toot to toot. Yeah, let's go toot that toot. But so Dan, I don't know. We'll put our heads together. We'll figure out something to chat about for a little while, and hopefully we can make you an entertaining episode 20.
We will attempt.
Thank you, each and everybody for listening. We also appreciate your support. Don't forget that Patreon, all our patrons, we really appreciate it. It helps cover the costs of this show, and maybe one day we'll all share a beer together. It might cover that as well.
One day.
But
one day. I'm looking forward to it.
We definitely appreciate you tuning in for this show. And where can we find you guys?
You can find me at Leo Chavez on Twitter.
You can find me at Casey2BEZ.
And you can find me at JoJo_Fett. It's been fun. We'll see you guys soon in the Linux user space. All right, next time. So this is probably where we should say what we're doing, at least with the end of the season type deal, right?
Joe, you are not going to leave us holding this bag. And we're going to be like, well, Joe decided to just ride off into the sunset for no reason that we can give you today.
No, I can definitely say, I don't mind. Like, I can say.
Okay. I don't mean to, like, I don't know, throw that at you, but
should I?
No.
Splash some water in my eye.
All that's going to happen is you're going to just get a bunch of messages.
I need some Visine, Dan.
Hold up. I need to get some. I got to get some tears going.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yep.
It still hurts my heart, Joe. That's all.
It hurts mine too. Actually, as I was researching today, I'm like, is there a way? If there's only a way.
Yeah.
But here we are. Look, it's 9. It's almost 10 o'clock.
I know.
Well, I feel like today was a fluke. But
today was
I
different.
get you. I feel you.
The episode that could. I think that's what we're doing right here.
Exactly. The episode that could.